Today I am going to bend your mind today. The apocalypse, end of the world, the great awakening, ascension, 5D, the new earth. I'm going to address that, and I guarantee you, unless somebody else is tuned in to the same download that I got, you probably have not heard this. I certainly haven't, and I'm going to share something with you that could bend your mind, but at the same time empower you about what is yet to come, that will come. And I'm going to put you at ease about a lot of things and maybe take you to a place that's going to go, woo-hoo-hoo, that you may have an epiphany. Are you ready for that? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an amazing life. I have something so different for you today. I told you we're going to keep pushing this channel, pushing into spaces that's going to blow your mind, because we aren't the mind. We want to go out there into that space of all intelligence of which we are. We're not separate. It's not something out there that we control or manipulate. And I think a lot of you still think that way. If I do this, that will do this for me. No, you don't have to attract anything. This, I see, the law of attraction isn't so popular anymore, right? Because people are understanding we are the power. There's no law that I have to attract something. Now, some of you, I'm not knocking law of attraction because, you know, it makes sense for a lot of you. It makes no sense to me because quantum physics supports the fact that whatever you focus on, you are shifting into that reality. And the more you focus on it, the faster it comes into your material world. I'm not attracting anything with that equation. Sorry, I didn't turn my phone off. I'm attracting nothing with that. I'm shifting into a probability that already exists. It's not something out there that goes, it comes into me. No, we are that energy. We're just making a decision at every moment. And that is at the core of what I'm going to tell you today. Are you ready for this? By the way, this is my mom's necklace. This is like, I don't know, probably 60 some years old. Isn't this cool? All right. We're going to talk about the end of the world as we know it. And that's really what it boils down to. This is all based on quantum physics. You and I are not experiencing the same reality, no matter what our beliefs are. We could have identical beliefs, and it's impossible for us as the individual energy fields. I mean, we are one, so we're all experiencing the exact same thing as the one. But that's not what I'm perceiving right now as a human being in this role. I am experiencing a certain reality, and no matter what our beliefs are or how in line we are, you and I will not have the identical realities. Now, we may be entangled. In other words, if we shift into the same frequency and we're tuned into the same radio station, we will hear the radio stations. We will exist in that reality together, but we still have all these unique energy fields and experiences within that. So when we talk about going to the new earth, we're still individual energy fields of which we all share it, but we have a concentration of energy here that allows me to experience it differently than you. Here's what's going to happen with the Great Awakening, the end of the world. The Great Awakening's been happening. It's a frequency of the planet of a higher frequency, which is beautiful thoughts, expansive thoughts. Think of the high frequency as expansive and letting go of everything that is limiting. Judgment, separation, all these things that make us a volatile and destructive planet. The more you pull away from that, the more you release it, the less you participate in that reality. It's still going on. So it's not like, oh, this is what's happening with the world. No, this is what's happening in your world. Okay, we're going to take this a step further. You ready for this? You are so in control of everything, because no matter what anybody says out there, and this is where we get hung up, oh, this is how things are. It's impossible for things to be this way for everybody. It's impossible. Because my focus in the quantum field is going to be very different from whatever you're saying. That's why when you're watching the news and stuff, your reality has now shifted into something that I'm not participating in. You get this? Because this is at the core of what we're going to talk about right now. The Great Awakening is an individual experience, and it's not the exact same time for everybody. All right? If you quantum physics, let's just focus on that. This is proven stuff. This, by the way, the stuff that I'm talking about, I'm only talking about what has been proven, not what is theory. Because quantum physics, we don't even know a fraction of what really happens with the one energy field. It's beyond human comprehension. We keep expanding that further and further and further. There's only 6 dimensions. No, there's 9. No, there's 20. There's no limits. There are no limits to any of this, which means when we focus on something, quantum physics, it is a wave. What's a wave? A wave is a probability. There are endless probabilities out there in all timelines, because there's really no such thing as time anyways. Endless probabilities. When you come here, you came here to experience being human with perceived limitations so that you could learn what it's like to be limited, what it's like to experience fear, what it's like to be sad or experience loss, because there's no such thing as loss. That loss you're experiencing here, you're going to go to the other side and go, hey, high five, I thought you were dead and I was crying over you. I know you wasted all this time. What the heck? I was over here having a blast. That's really what it's boiled down to. You can still experience that because you miss their, presence in this physical world. But if you expand your mind out into here and nobody dies. In fact, they just release the negative density that they may have experienced here. Even as animals, it's tough to be an animal. There's survival and all that stuff. So I want you to understand that that's a probability. All right, so the probability is just an experience, and all of us here on this planet chose it. So our role here, you can't bypass this because you have to follow. If you don't follow through with that agreement, that contract, that experience you agreed to do, you can't go on to the next one. You locked this in for now, okay? All things are possible, but you don't get out of this. So you have to make the best of this if you want to transcend to something bigger and better. It never ends, by the way. When you come out of this body, that energy field and all those lessons, it continues on and on and on and on. It's not like, oh, all those problems are gone. No, you're going to carry those lessons, but there's no judgment, good nor bad, on the other side. So humans do that. And then they bicker with each other, and they have to be right. And so, people, every once in a while I get somebody commenting. Instead of having a conversation with me, they have to, go into, an argument. And that's separation, that's lower frequency. And that's what causes people to blow each other up. You don't want to go into that space, because here's what's going to happen. Whatever you focus on, that wave, that probability, turns into a particle. A particle is when it exists in your reality. In other words, if I focus on it, I now have created it only for me. I didn't create it for everybody else. Now that energy field that I am, because we're one, contributes to the collective. This is why the frequency of the planet's going up. Because when all these people individually, because there's a great awakening happening, these individual people are choosing higher frequencies, the rest of the collective, it feels that, including the planet. Everything starts to feel that. So these cataclysmic events, these challenges that we've been having on the planet, are all purposeful for good. The things that aren't working are collapsing. So when you think that this health issue that we have is negative, it is not. It's impossible, because everything out there is a reflection of us. It is forcing us to go into a completely different way of life. And so within that, you get to choose. If you're going to be a problem and argue and go into that dark space where you see the world coming to an end, or you say, wow, I don't have that job anymore, or I can make different choices now, or, I'm feeling mortal. Do I want to stay in that relationship that's abusive? Is there another world for me? We don't make decisions till we have our back up against the wall, and that's what's happening right now. But you get to choose where you take that, up or down. Now here's what's going to happen. When we go into some big, seemingly final event, there's no such thing, but let's call it the final event. If you believe and you're focused on that probability of an apocalyptic, negative world that blows itself up, you shift into that, it becomes a particle, and you experience that. You'll experience that. I'm not going to. That is quantum physics. No two people can experience the exact same reality at the exact same time. Now there's entanglement. Now entanglement, I'm going to use it in a spiritual way. This is not the scientific definition. Entanglement is when if you and I are both focused, and this is where powerful prayer circles focus on one thing, we become entangled. We now create something more powerful because we're, do you remember Ghostbusters? They had the little ray gun things, the little power things that, dissolved the ghost. And they would pull in, each one of them had, and they put it on, and then when those rays of light converge, it would go, right? But it was more powerful when all of them put it in and then it converged and it became entangled, and then it did something much more powerful than any one of them could do. That's entanglement. So in other words, we as a collective can accelerate certain realities and participate in that. But even if, let's say a group of people believe in, the planet's going to, in that handbasket. So if they all believe that and they experience it, they will all experience that, but they're all going to experience it differently because they're individual energy fields. No two people can experience exactly alike because they have a family or they're an individual or they have a different experience. And so they will go into that space entangled together because they believe it and they are viewing and focused on that reality. Getting this? This is quantum physics. I'm telling you right now, it is impossible for this to happen and this to happen. Because the universe, the one power, is everything. It's everything and all happening at the same time, and even that doesn't really describe it. All past, present, and future probabilities all exist at once, and they are all converge as one thing. You within it get to experience what appears to be individual choices, an individual personality, all these things. So right now, you get to, this is a play. This, and it freaking feels real, doesn't it? Purposefully, you would not get to experience what you're experiencing if you thought it wasn't real. So even when you know that you're something greater, you still are going to experience human limitations and the craziness on this planet. You chose to experience that and be in this collective field that is really disturbing. But there's a whole great awakening. So you can shift into those higher frequencies and not experience that. So two people will say, well, this is what's happening. And somebody else says, no, this is what's happening. How's that possible? Because there are multiple dimensions and experiences and endless probabilities within it. And what that person experiences that thinks everybody else is true for them. It doesn't have to be true for you. So what I'm telling you right now is people think, well, this is happening for them. It's just for them. If somebody believes that this world is going into a negative space, they will experience it, they've created it, they've focused on it, they've chosen that probability, and they will go into that. So they're right. There is an earth that goes into such a negative place. There is also a great awakening where people are seeing the planet going into an amazing space where we're going to heal all the damage we've done to her. We're going to make amazing choices. And that's all real too. And so you're going to say, wait a minute, we're going into a golden era. We've got 4 years here as of this video. So 2024, we've supposedly got 4 years of transition. So, and it doesn't stop there. There's no starting and stopping point. We've been transitioning for a while. But it's getting really intense now because we've come to a tipping point where we have decided we no longer want to function like this. We don't want to live like this anymore. So what happens, what's not working has to go. That doesn't happen overnight. I mean, the monetary systems, what we eat and drink, and, you know, all these manufacturing plants spewing their garbage up, you know, those don't go away overnight. We all have to, as a collective, make higher choices so that we put that out of business so that they can start making higher choices and give us stuff that is not toxic to our bodies. I found Pottery Barn. Here are materials that are making they're giving out some really cool stuff right now. And I was like, I didn't even know they were doing all the negative stuff in the first place. I'm not familiar with how they handle their materials. And they were saying, now we're doing bedspreads and all these things that are non-toxic. I'm like, so are you telling me that the other stuff is toxic? That's the world we live in. We're going to change that. So you have to educate yourself and make higher choices, because when you focus on it, you're creating it. And so those choices, those changes will take place because you are now choosing the higher frequency within the material world, seeming material world. It's really not, but we're living in it. We're experiencing it. Enjoy that, because you can have a lot of fun. You are totally in control with your reality. If you think that the final days of the planet are just us transitioning into an amazing oneness and high frequency of love and giving, no more judgment, no more arguing, working together, having our individual opinions, yeah, that's nothing wrong with it. You're a human being. You can still have those feelings. This is what we experience, this amazing thing that we don't have on the other side. It's what you do with it and how you react to it that is 100% in your control and no one else's. And through that, you create your own reality. And if you believe that we're going into golden era, as I do, and that my abundance continues to flow, my ability to change the planet in a positive way through my messages, still allowing people to make those choices if they want to believe it or not, is still their individual choice to control their own reality and thus their own great awakening or end of the world. If it blows up, there's a world that does. What is the new Earth? It's not the new Mars. It's not the new Venus. It's the new Earth. It means that we are going into a completely different reality together. That's it. And so if you and I are entangled, I'm going to experience something completely different, but you will be a part of that. That's why you're on my channel. And then you've got people that are going, nah, get off, go over to the conspiracy theories. And when you figure out that feels really bad and you're done with it, come on and join us. You're always welcome here. Everyone is. All right, you want to behave badly? Nobody's going to want to be around you. So what happens? When friends that behave badly, what happens? You stop hanging out with them, right? You're now shifting. So then you have friends that, are nicer or to you or, more. So what happens? Who's going to listen to them? Other nasty people. And so they all argue with each other, and that's what's happened. That's all it is. And that's real. Those people didn't disappear. They are in a different reality because they're choosing lower frequency, and only lower frequency people want to be around that until they get tired of it and they realize it doesn't feel good to be there. That's okay. They have to learn. That's what we're here for. The end of the world is completely in your personal reality control because that probability exists. This is quantum physics. That's a fact because every probability exists. And if you focus on it and you believe it, it will happen. And the collective will contribute to that. So you're going to have it. You say, well, I didn't do that. Or no, this is going to be part of what happens along the way based on your choice. So don't think that you're, you lost your job. I didn't do that. Yes, everything's going to happen according to what is required for you to achieve that reality. But you got to stay steadfast on it. You can't be all over the board. It really is going to hell in the handbasket. Okay. Boom, we just switched over here. We switched over to that wave. Now a particle. Kaboom! I'm not going there. I know the facts for me. And that is, I am totally in control of my experience here. I came here to do that, and I came here to teach you that you have 100% control over that. That's why my 3 seconds to manifest anything, I made it real simple for you. If you're thinking something negative, you are now focused on that probability, and you're turning it into a particle, and then you come over here and you go, I would like a higher paying job or a good relationship. And it's like, wait a minute, you just spent 90% of your time focused on that probability. It's quantum physics. Knock it off. So you've got to catch it and go over here, catch it and go over here. Same thing with the end of the world. It's never going to end, not really. Everything evolves. You know, our galaxies are dimming. They're 50% dimmer than they were 2 billion years ago, and they're continuing to dim. 10% less stars are being born. Everything has a cycle. It's nothing to fear. Oh, the galaxies are dying. Yeah, and we know nothing, nothing truly ends. Energy can't be created nor destroyed. If we want everything to be the same, oh, global warming. Well, what'd you think was going to happen? If we had no vehicles on the planet, it would still go into that phase. It has in the past. Did you know that we've had global warming hundreds of years ago? Way beyond this. It just goes through cycles. We always want to, control everything. Let it go. Let it all go. Let it go. Focus on that amazing world and be that person. You can go there. All right, so I'm so happy to announce, I launched Shift into the New Earth workshop. I spent a lot of time on this. They are just one after another practices for you. How do I shift? I talk about a certain subject and I go, okay, we're going to practice that today. We practice that today. And take you into that higher frequency. And I've got 12 practices and things for you to think about and write in a journal. I have it 50% off as of this video. That's not going to last long. If you're going to manifest anything, it's in the description, email list. You'll get the discount code for 50% off because I'm still adding some of the audio portions. Everything's there. But I'm tweaking it a little bit. I'm enhancing some things. So you're going to get it, and you get unlimited use for a year, so you're going to get everything, even the tweaks. You'll see those come over. If you miss the 50% off, you'll still get a discount if you use that code. It's just not going to be as big a discount. New Earth Workshop. I have the New Earth Masterclass. That's a 3 hours, me talking to you in a webinar for 3 hours. It's recorded, and practice. You've got to shift out of that, because if you're thinking something, that mind is creating it. And we want to shift into that new earth, don't we? It's amazing. It's possible for anybody. So quit worrying about, well, that's going to happen. They said this is going to happen. No, it's what you believe that makes it true or not. That's it. I'm serious. That's it. It's that simple. Quantum physics. Okay, so guys, people are signing up. This is a free workshop series, how to create an online business. Decide if it's for you or not. It's an education system. It's an education system. I don't want any negative thoughts from anybody. But if you want to do it, fine. It's not going to be in my space. We got to put our foot down. Bless people and say, I'm not going to participate or be entangled in your negativity. That's the best lesson for other people, is to say, you know what, I love you, but I can't be around this. Because this is unacceptable to me, because I see the world differently. And I hope that you can, but that's your choice. I'm going to step over here. Dalai Lama says, what do you do with negative energy? Step away from it. Not, I'm going to cure you. I'm going to educate you. No. That's you wanting somebody else to be different for you. That's still the ego. Boy, we got a lot of work to do, don't we? Let's go into that amazing new earth. You individually choose it, and others will participate. Isn't that cool? So get busy, get that other stuff out of your head, get off those channels that are talking gloom and doom. It's their reality, and you will participate with them and all the other people watching it. Ooh, we love to watch all that stuff. It's going to take an effort. It's an addiction. All right. Please subscribe, because people are being unsubscribed and they don't even know it, and I don't know why YouTube's doing that, but please share, subscribe, check to make sure you're subscribed if you already are. Share these. Let's shift. Let's get that tipping point going, so that the more the collective goes, the easier it is, because we're picking up on that energy field. You're going to pick up on it. It's going to be easier for us to transcend into something amazing. And of course, the more people that go in, the more amazing and beautiful it is. And, let's bless those who choose to experience something different. That's what they came here for. If they want to do it, let them do it. If they want to come back to something, really nasty, it's not going to be me, I'll tell you that. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I hope you enjoyed today. I want you to really think about this. I'm going to take you further and further out into that, boom, what you really are, which is amazing. You're already awake. You're already perfect. Everything else is just a thought and a choice that blocks anything perfect from being a part of your life, even here as a human. I'm going to say it again. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.